Investigative journalist Sonia Elijah describes the COVID era as a major psychological operation in which fear was weaponized to coerce public acceptance of experimental mRNA vaccines. She maintains that the vaccine rollout was the greatest crime against humanity, forced on scared populations in exchange for a return to normal life.
The lies started from the very beginning, but my book even goes before. I do an extensive timeline looking at what was running up to the 3/11. Obviously, the book title 3/11, it's March the 11th, 2020. That's when the World Health Organization declared the pandemic. But running up to that, you have all these pandemic simulation exercises going on. I'm sure you've heard of the event 201, right? So a lot of recommendations came out of that event where they are saying we've got to do something about misinformation. And this is what we're seeing play out. So we saw this unprecedented use of censorship coming out of 3/11. And that's why I kind of hark on with the date, because it's sort of like we enter this new era. And I see 3/11, Russell, as a biological sequel to 9/11. So 9/11, what did we see come out of that? We saw this rise of mass surveillance. We saw endless wars. We saw the Patriot Act. But with 3/11, what we're seeing this rise of biosecurity, okay, and this compliance, this citizen compliance with the state. I mean, don't you remember in lockdown how so many people, obviously being so scared, just obeyed? They followed the rules. They stayed home. They locked down. They died in their homes, right? Not of COVID, but of other like heart attacks and other ailments and diseases. So it's just really, I mean, if you think of, I mean, my mind still boggles what went on and how they weaponized fear. We must not forget this was a major psychological operation, because early on they knew that the infection fatality ratio was like at 0.1%. Which is comparable to a severe flu season, okay? They knew that early on, but what did they do? They scared the public, like, where they died in their homes, they didn't go out, and they coerced these novel shots on everyone, right? And I go deep into that. I look at the rise of Moderna, and I look at mRNA technology is a DARPA technology, and DARPA is obviously, as you know, the military research arm of the Pentagon, and we know that they were really desperate to bring out this mRNA technology. BioNTech and Moderna had failed to bring any mRNA product to market prior to 3/11. So it takes this disruptive event, right, this health crisis, to usher in this new novel technology. And I believe the lockdowns were a psyop. So people were so desperate to get the shot so they could literally, they would the economy could go back to normal, they could have a normal life, they could travel, all of these things. It was just to coerce the public. And I believe it was, the greatest crime against humanity.